So today, we got a Cursed combo featuring the Poison Spear, which inflicts a bunch of poison with every hit, and the DarkSaber, which dishes out more damage for every debuff we stack onto opponents. And to top it all off, we're pairing them with the Cursed Dagger, adding crit chance to the build. But hey, can it carry us all the way to round 18? Let's find out. Okie dokie, let's go and jump some rank games with a random character and see what we're going to get today. So it looks like we're playing indeed a Reaper. We do start off with a Storage Coffin and a Wooden Sword. So, since the frying pan is on sale, I'm going to start off by grabbing the frying pan here. Let's grab a Healing Herbs. I'm actually going to roll here to see what we can get. Big old banana is exactly what I'm looking for. It's going to be awesome. Now, I do want to craft up a Hero Sword here. I mean, we could end up going for Falcon Blade, which I'm kind of down for. Not going to lie. Which means I'm going to take this Whetstone, and I think this is going to be a round 1. Now, I would love our banana inside our Storage Coffin with our frying pan. But I also want them both in our fanny packs. But we also want our Wooden Sword inside the Storage Coffin as well. Now, I certainly could do something like this so we get the value of our Whetstone, but then we lose the value on our frying pan, or we lose the value on our banana in our fanny pack. But it will stack up a little bit more poison for us. Otherwise, we can literally forget about the potential 1 to 2 poison this is going to give us during battle, but get that heal a little bit faster. I think it's going to be more worth it this way. I think I'm just going to rock with this for now. This is going to be round 1. It shouldn't be too bad. We should have a lot of damage. And a little bit of healing with our Healing Herbs and our banana. Now, we are going to begin a shield, so double weapons is going to be troublesome here. And they do cleanse our poison. So this point is going to be pretty darn tough to face here, especially with the Relic Case. We're just going to have to damage on their Wooden Sword and their Dagger just a little bit. But can we actually keep up? Unfortunately, it's looking super close, but hey, we did actually manage to pass them out, which is awesome. Now we got our freaking Hero Sword, which is going to be amazing. Now we do have 9 golds. I'm going to start off by grabbing the storage. I'm going to grab the garlic as well. I'm going to grab ourselves a piggy bank too. But yeah, I did move our setup around so we can have our garlic being increased instead of our bananas, since this is going to use up a lot less stamina than the Wooden Sword. I think that should be pretty good. Now I'm going to have our piggy bank outside our Storage Coffin here. And our Healing Herbs. Even though they're starter ball effects, they could actually trigger our Storage Coffin. Or maybe actually. Yeah, maybe better this way. But we should be able to get... Never mind that. We should be able to get 4 extra max HP from this. Which is going to be nice. But this is going to be around 2. And it shouldn't be terribly bad here. Garlic should be triggering every 3.3 seconds, giving us 3 block, which is going to matter a little bit here in my opinion. Although our opponent does have quite a bit of block, but they don't have a lot of damage. That's 6 to 9 per hit. It's about 3.4 DPS overall. They are inflicting a lot of blind on us. So I'm hoping that a poison we do stack up will actually take him out here. You know what? Not even close. Amazing. I'm actually looking at this spear. I kind of want to take it. So I'm going to take it over the frying pan. I'm going to keep this because I do want to try to go for Falcon Blade potentially. I'm going to grab the armor since it is on sale too. Now if I was to place in our armor, we would have to lose our piggy bank here. And our Healing Herbs. Once we take this out, which we probably can actually. We could remove our garlic here. Keep our piggy bank. Keep our Healing Herbs as well. I mean, this is going to be 9 block within 10 seconds basically, and this is going to be 45 block at the very beginning. It makes more sense to have this. Now, is there any reason to roll here? I think I'm going to actually just keep all this stuff for now and potentially just sell the frying pan in the next round, unless we get ourselves a Rogue Potion. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be keeping it. Now, we could also grab ourselves a Pandemonium as well. Pandemonium might be awesome as well. Now, unfortunately, I didn't actually make use of our spear as much here, since it doesn't have any star slots, or otherwise we'd shred this armor really, really fast. But we're getting our poison stacked up. Our opponent does have lots of power, increasing the damage on their broom. But with our setup, we should be able to take him out here. And amazing. Now we do have a choice to make. An Echoing Battler could be kind of awesome here. Give us a ton of block. Now we could just take Smelly Wall. I know we have 1 garlic, only 1 garlic, but it will help us stack up poison. So we basically want to become a poison stacking build with the Smelly Wall, which I definitely want to do. And speaking of a poison stacking build, how about we go Poison Spear today? Well, I have to grab the storage so we can actually have this in as well. I'm going to sell the frying pan so we can grab ourselves this fanny pack as well, and I do want to increase the speed of our food items as much as possible, while also having a good old piggy bank in as well. And yeah, I'm going to move on. So we're going to have a Poison Spear, Smelly Wall, block stacking type builds. Which is going to be kind of awesome, potentially. I'm going to be trying to get a Falcon Blade with this, so it actually goes even faster. Maybe you want to get rid of a Falcon Blade, but kind of... Maybe we could actually lean into a DarkSaber here. Just get tons of debuffs stacked up as well. So we could end up going for a Cursed Dagger type build today, potentially. But it's not looking too bad. Taking on a sponge, we do have 13 poison already, which is pretty darn awesome, even though they resist 3 debuffs with that leather armor. And how many opponents have we faced with leather armor today? And you know what? Not too bad. They had a lot of max life thanks to that false life as well. But hey, we got a Poison Spear. We have to grab ourselves in our freaking garlic here. We could grab ourselves a Garlic too. As been buffed recently, I'm going to take it, but I'm going to roll. And I do want to grab this because this is going to give us a ton of block. So I'm going to save the rest of our gold. But our Pika Bank is going to be in the best position it can be for now. And with our Poison Spear, we should be able to shred an insane amount of block with this as well as inflicting a ton of debuffs. The only problem is, we're going to be inflicting a lot on ourselves. But I'm going to take our Corrupted Crystal in the next round so we get tons and tons more block. And we should be in a pretty good spot. With our Smelly Wall, we should be able to get quite a bit of block between these two garlics as well. We're stacking up poison. We do resist a little bit with our leather armor, and I mean, our opponent's HP is already gone, which is kind of awesome. Now the thing is, I actually want the eye lamp here. I want the gloves, and I want the Corrupted Crystal. I'm going to take the gloves and the Corrupted Crystal. And unfortunately, I think we're going to move on for now. I want the eye lamp for some scaling damage as well. Wait, can we take on a Pandemonium with a chain up here? Honestly, we only really stack up 2 regen. After that, we don't really depend on much buffs. So this chain up is not going to get as much value. And holy moly, this Poison Spear is insane in the mid game here. I'm going to grab the eye lamp. I'm going to grab this bit of storage. And I do want to roll. Looking for a pair of gloves. Although, we could go Cauldron and craft up a bunch of strong demonic flasks. Or we could even still take this and go Cursed Dagger and have these do big, massive crits. Also, Dragon on Silver 5 is kind of mad. So call me crazy. I'm going to sell our Piggy Bank here. I'm going to take the Dragon Egg. I'm going to take the Dragon Egg. I'm going to take our Demonic Flask. It's probably going to be tough to actually get ourselves that Falcon Blade. So maybe we want to move into DarkSaber maybe, potentially. But we'll see. Now I'm scaling up the damage on our Hero Sword here. Just for a little bit more chip damage on our opponents. So the longer the fight goes on, the more damage we're going to be doing. Now, they also have freaking Cthulhu here, which is going to be kind of nuts, but hey, not too bad still. I say it's nuts because it's going to give him a lot of life still. Now, here's the thing. I actually really want to go for a Cursed Dagger type build. Mr. Struggles is on sale, which is nice with the Poison Spear because it does reflect some of those debuffs back on our opponents, which is also nice. We can also go with a snake since we do have a pet as well. I'm going to go crazy. I'm going to grab ourselves this Cursed Dagger. And that is straight up a lightsaber here. So we're going to say goodbye to this. We're going to take it and we're going to craft that up pretty much instantly. The only thing is, how the hell are we going to have our egg in for now as well? I also really want another Demonic Flask anyway, but are we going to be crafting these up? I'm not sure if we are. We really want the block stacking we do get from a Corrupted Crystal, but I'm also thinking about taking the Box of Riches here. No, I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it because we can grab some amethysts here to also reduce our opponent's healing. I think it's going to be a nice little effect. But I'm going to move on with this. We don't have our armor in, which is going to be problematic, especially going to begin a hammer dagger type build. They're going to be dealing tons and tons of damage. And can we keep up? It's looking super close and just barely surviving here, which is madness. We got our dragon, we got our DarkSaber, all looking pretty darn amazing. Now, I do want to grab another funny pack. Also grab a Demonic Flask. I'm going to grab this because that is going to help us resist some debuffs, especially once we craft it up into Burning Coal. I'm going to roll once, and there's that amethyst. Actually, we got 2 amethysts, which is awesome. Now, Help also helps quite a bit, so kind of do want to grab that too. Now, we could just craft up a Doom Cap here instead. Maybe we actually want to do that instead and keep our Corrupted Crystals for our armor stacking. You know what? I might actually do that. The only problem is we can't really have our Box of Riches in for now. It's just going to have to be this way. I'm going to move on. I'm going to stack crits on our Poison Spear, our DarkSaber, and a Ruby Belt for now. But can we take on this Cauldron Vampiric Blade type setup? If we had our armor in, with those little damages, we would reduce a lot of heals, but unfortunately, they do actually end up outpacing us. It is what it is. We should be in a really, really good spot once we do get ourselves that Doom Cap, reducing our opponent's healing even further. And we do get enchanted weapons. Enchanted weapons might actually be awesome with the Cursed Dagger as well as the Poison stacking. And also the DarkSaber. So yeah, we'll take it. Now, I do want to grab this storage. I do want to grab this pot. I do want to grab this garlic. And I don't really want to craft... We could craft up an ice armor here, actually. Am I crazy to? I'd love to take it, but I also really want to roll. And a vampiric armor would be a lot more block first, which would stack up more poison overall. But the ice armor would use up 1 of our heat to inflict 2 cold and gain 10 block every 5 seconds. It is quite slow. But the vampiric armor will give it a ton. But the vampiric armor will actually give us a lot more block. It's basically double the amount of block we get from our ice armor. But this also inflicts a lot of debuffs, which we would have to sell our box of riches here for. Or our gloves. Gloves and this garlic. I do kind of want to keep our box of riches here. So I'm going to sell our gloves and our garlic here. So we'll grab it and we're going to craft it up. The only thing is, I can't place in our Doom Cap just yet, unfortunately. And I also really want to put in our Star of Courage because this is going to use up a ton of stamina. Maybe we don't want as much speed on our DarkSaber here since we have no mana generation whatsoever. But I am going to venture on with this for now. Actually, hold on a second before I do make a mistake. Yeah, that would be a lot more clever if we actually had this in the most ideal position that we can have it in. We do have a chance to inflict a crap ton of poison with a poison spear. But the only thing is, our DarkSaber does need some holy moly damage. I mean, some mana generation so we get that effect as well. But here we got our ice armor. I don't really actually want any of this stuff here. We could grab ourselves these boots. I'm going to place this in as we roll for now. Grab our storage. That's amazing. We could go for Excalibur right now with Doom Cap as well. But I'm going to keep grabbing the storage for now as well. Now, I don't exactly want any of these items, so I'm going to keep rolling. That is a deck of cards. Also, a Poison or Dead Sight here. Dead Sight would be kind of awesome, but I kind of like our setup here. I might not take it. The helmet I do want. The chipped amethyst I do want. And I actually want a deck of cards to go for a Ruby Chunk as well. Because if we get Ruby Chunks, if we stack up a bunch of heat, then it's actually going to be really, really good for us. So let's take this. I'm going to craft this up. Let's grab our deck of cards, hoping for a Hollow for Lizard, which we didn't get. And I think I'm going to reserve this Cap Resilience. I'm not going to place in our Box of Riches or our deck of cards. Because I want to craft this up into Strong Help Off for now. And yeah, I'm going to venture on with this as well. And we are going to begin a Wing Boot. Practice Large Great Sword with 82% crit chance. Which is going to be quite scary. Because we're going to cleanse all those debuffs. We do stack up, but it doesn't really matter here. So we actually end up with about a 40 DPS at this point in the game. Which is not too bad. DarkSaber being the vast majority of it does eat up a lot of stamina though, so we would benefit quite a bit getting more stamina. As for heals, we don't have a whole lot of heals, but as for block, yeah, not too bad block for this point of the game. Definitely could be improved though. We just need to find ourselves a bunch of corrupted crystals. Or crit chance. Well, we already stack up crit chance, but I mean we could get even more crit chance. But first of all, I was hoping that was going to be something crazier. Still good, but I was hoping crazier. Let's grab you. Do we want a crit chance here? You know, I kind of do. I'll take it for now. Roll once. And I need a storage really, really badly here. And I kind of want to take another Flag Arc here to potentially craft up another Doom Cap. The thing is, I kind of want to keep our Eye Lamp here. But I think we have to sell it. Unfortunately. Can we actually risk another round here? Risk another round, keep all the stuff in our inventory for now. Will we actually win? I'm going to chance it. It might be crazy, but actually getting this round will be amazing. Especially since we're not using that freaking Eye Lamp. Now our opponent does have full body protection, which means we're going to get a ton more block from their Frozen Flame and our Ice Dragon. And they're going to be inflicting a lot of cold on us, but we got tons and tons of poison. We got lots of colds and some blind as well. And you know what? Not too bad. They did resist a big old crit there at the very end as well. Which is a little bit mad. Now speaking of mad, we could actually just grab a poison, super strong poison pot as well. Especially since we have the Amulet of Alchemy. You know what? Hell yeah, I'm going to be doing that. And again, we can't have this stuff in, which is a little less than ideal. Now I think we actually want to place our poison pot down below, even though we get more poison this way. But this is going to trigger our strong help pot since this is crafted up into a stronger one. we should be able to get a regen, cleanse some of the poison we do inflict on ourselves, and I think that should be genuinely awesome. And again, we still need mana generation, so our DarkSaber can inflict some blind as well. But hey, that's a lot of poison stacked up already, and it's looking pretty good. That was massive 53 crit and amazing. These fights are over super quick actually. Alright, speaking of mana generation, it literally hurt me. We could go for double ice armor here. Double ice armor. We could also just grab more wonky snowmen so we inflict a bunch of cold at the very beginning and stop our opponent from stacking up max life as well. So basically we want to reduce their healing with our doom cap, with our flaw damages, and stop their max life stacking. So I'm going to take another fanny pack. I will actually take this, and I'm going to grab our mana orb. I'm actually going to have to sell the eye lamp after all. I'm going to switch this back, and I do want to place this back in here. But I'm going to place our mana orb up top for now as well. The mana orb is not going to be that critical here, to be quite honest. It's just going to stack up a little bit of mana so our DarkSaber can actually just inflict a few more debuffs. But I think I really want to be greedy here and take out our cap and place our box riches in. I'd love to take another burning coal here, but I think I'm just going to roll for now. Protect the little purse I will grab. We'd also grab this gemstone too. And yeah, I'm going to venture on once again. So I did prioritize our leaf badge over here, beside our dragon, beside our DarkSaber, so we get that little bit more crit chance. It's only 2% more, but could be worth it. Now we are going to be getting shielded, so our stamina is going to be pretty much gone. And yeah, that opponent hit the nuts with shielded sun shield. I think that's going to be one of the most broken combos right now, because this prevents 17 damage, which is already crazy. And then having a 60% chance to block that damage. Yeah, say goodbye to stamina. That's for sure. I'm going to grab some more gemstones. I'm going to roll again though. Hell yeah. Also, amazing. Let's keep rolling. And finally our first stamina stack. Now I did kind of want to go for Ruby Chunk, but I think I might actually give up on it here. I'd love to keep a deck of cards as well, but I'm actually thinking about selling it. I'm going to have to sell it. And this gemstone so we can grab this for now as well. But I also really want the card because the card is going to help get rid of a few debuffs we do stack on ourselves. Now I did actually reduce the speed on our DarkSaber here because it was eating up too much stamina anyway. But I am going to move on. Now we did actually move it away from our leaf badge, which might be a little bit worse in the long run. But it should be pretty good still. That's some big damage. And amazing damage actually, taking on a freaking spiked staff, brass knuckles with a ton of vampirism. Yeah, we already have a 60 DPS, which is kind of amazing. And speaking of stamina, that is a regular topaz. I do want to take the carrot, and I do want to take our flag Eric, and I want to roll. And we can go for second doom cap here. I mean, by the time this triggers again, we're not actually getting this to actually trigger. So I do want to take it, but I kind of want to use it as big damage as well. Should we actually do it that way, or should we just craft up a second doom cap? Because I'm kind of leaning towards getting a second doom cap here. Although we do have ourselves that amulets of alchemy. We haven't seen any more corrupted crystals, which is not so great. Now we did have our box of riches in roll and look for some gemstones, but it is what it is. Now we are going to begin a crazy chili cheese Excalibur, but we do counter them quite a bit with our snowballs. They don't stack up as much max life. And you know what? The fight's already over. Since we do so much healing, since we stopped their max life stacking, we do counter this bone quite nicely. And they even had a strong divine pot to try and counter us as well. So it's definitely looking pretty darn awesome. We got our second doom cap, which is going to be nuts. We can try to go for our ruby chunk like I did want to, which we're not going to. We could grab a bird here to actually remove a lot of luck stacking our opponent does get. So decreasing accuracy, we stack up blind, they can't hit us. Maybe we actually want to do that. Maybe not though. Although we could just straight up grab some blind. Let's fill up our backpack. We could grab some block too, which I would take if we had more stones. Which we don't, unfortunately. Although we do have our amulets of alchemy, maybe it's still worth it. And I'm going to keep rolling for now. Set of blueberries I will grab because that is going to be a good trigger for our mana orb, and it's going to be some mana stacking for our DarkSaber. And unfortunately, we kind of have to move on with this setup for now. Now I'm looking for an acorn collar. If we find one more acorn collar, it means our DarkSaber is going to have quite a bit of crits. And I don't expect to win this round. Shielded katana. Yeah, we're going to be doing very little damage, especially with the sun shield and the divine pot. This point literally counters us. They cleanse so much debuffs. Yeah, we have no chance taking on this boat with Shelly as well. unfortunately. Hold on a second, can we bring it back? It's actually looking super close. I say that as we just get smashed. Yeah, unfortunately this opponent does counters. I mean, they have green gemstones as well, resisting any poison we do inflict. We couldn't have faced a worse opponent if we actually tried to. Unfortunately. Let's grab our storage. We can't craft anymore. But I do want to find ourselves more amethysts, potentially. Although we could just take this and inflict a small few debuffs. I will grab a protectable first for more block. And I really want to keep rolling here. I will take a banana though for a bit more stamina. And I really want to find ourselves a corrupted crystal. So I might actually keep rolling. Okay, I'll settle for an acorn collar. I'm going to sell this. Grab a protectable purse. We could use this to inflict a tiny bit more poison. I'm going to sell this to roll once more. And we never found another corrupted crystal, which is super unfortunate. But it is what it is. And I still think this was a super awesome, actually super fun build. Being DarkSaber, Cursed Dagger into Poison Spear, into enchanted weapons, into getting some extra crit chance, into also getting an ice armor on top of everything. Now honestly, corrupted crystals in this whole build would have been insane because any debuffs we do inflict, yeah, it's going to make us more tanky. Basically it's giving us defense for what we're doing anyway. But unfortunately we didn't get any. We did have to settle for this for now anyway, just reducing as much healing as possible, stopping our opponent from stacking max life. And we're going to see if this is going to be good enough. Are we going to face another opponent who does counter this completely, or are we going to win out? I'm going to slow this one down. We are going to begin a Hammer Cursed Dagger type build with double rainbow. And they're going to stack up a ton of heat so the Ruby Chunk actually stuns on him. We do have quite a bit of block at the very beginning, and we have a crazy absurd amount of poison stacked up at the very beginning as well. And yeah, we're inflicting our blind. So it's looking like we definitely have the advantage here. But with Hammer Dagger type builds, they could stun us and deal some big damage like they're doing right now. But one hit from a DarkSaber and the fight is over. Awesome. So we actually only end up with a 68 DPS, even though they did have some damage reduction as well, and they cleansed some for debuffs, especially with heavy drinking as well. Now we did only end up with 10 healing per second, which is actually not great whatsoever. But as for block, we actually only end up with 24 block per second. So our build definitely wasn't that defensive. Our defenses were blind and cold, but without those corrupted crystals, our defenses kind of sucked, not gonna lie. That is definitely one way this build could have improved for sure. With this round 3 lives left, let's go and see just how much rank points we managed to get. Plus 24 actually. Ranking us up actually quite a good bit. Give us our masters back again. But anyways, I'm going to be here for now. I just want to say thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, or even consider subscribing. And I hope to keep looking for the next one. I'll see you next time. Okay, we're back in history and we're going to see can we take on some other builds. We are going to begin a time melting Dearwood Guardian with a Serpent Staff. They're going to be trying to lamp it as well. And they do have stone shoes, so our dragon is not going to do any damage here, but that's not going to be our main source of damage. The DarkSaber with insane debuffs was the smasher. Now, can we take on a big ball of treats, squirrel archer, max life stacking stone golem? With the amount of snowballs we do have, they won't stack up much max life here. I mean, the Thornbloom usually gives 11, but now it's given 3. So, hell yeah. However, can we take on a Lampin friendly fire, flame up, investment opportunity? They're going to actually stack up actually not a whole lot of max life because they only get 1, which usually gives 4. But they are dealing a ton of damage and they have invulnerability. They cleanse a lot of those debuffs as well. And you know what? Holy moly, that was close. For a second there, I thought we lost. However, are we going to be able to take on a big old Busted Blade that's going to go zoom with the amount of Dragon Claws they do have? And a 100% crit chance. As long as we stack up with a blind, make a miss, that's not a miss, that's holy moly damage. And unfortunately, big old Busted Blade still beats us out.